Hey guys, so second video. All right, actually, Paul, I just read your comment recently, and I threw it in here quick. I have a big list here, but first off, thank you for the congrats for Joe and I. That's very sweet of you. So your question is this is interesting. Okay, so flat Earth versus round Earth controversy, which is getting more heated and important. Can we forget infinite reflections for a minute and just look at this third dimension? Ground flat or round? One or the other. Also, do you know Abraham Hicks? So you sent me a video and it's got 2,000 plus views. That is so awesome. And I'll tell you what, Paul, I can't like keep up in my life. I'm like always getting swept away by the tide, and I actually feel horrible about it all the time. So I'm working on just accepting that there's a lot I'll never be able to keep up with. It just won't. But this actually is pretty cool. That's really exciting that you have 2,000 plus views. All right, so you're supporting the flat Earth reality, and so both sides offer very compelling proofs, and you would like my view on that. Well, I'll tell you what. My first question is how. I just to throw it out there, just throw it out there. So let's say the Earth is round, and then let's say flat Earth theory. It's called flat Earth theory. Okay. So let's say the Earth is flat. Let's say the Earth is round. So if we want to look at flat, or we want to look at round, if we want to look at apple and we want to look at orange, if we want to look at black and we want to look at white, we're starting to enter into that zone where there can only be one right answer. Only white people are good. Black people, no good. Or black people are the only ones that know anything about anything in this world. Like white people suck. I can't stand oranges. If I had an orange right now, I would throw it against the wall. Oranges are wrong in every way, shape, and form. Apples are the only thing that is good in this world, So we're starting to go into that zone where we're starting to say yes, no, no, yes, no, yes. So we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm telling you, heated arguments are extreme distraction from where the value lies. And the value lies in acceptance and being human about the infinite universe, and not knowing an answer is actually cooler in some ways. It's actually way cooler. And every time I explore this, I get two compelling sides of the story. Both are the right answer. Both are actually the right answer. So what do we do with that? How can both be the right answer? How could that possibly be? We're looking at a spiritual universe. I can take a flat space, go into that flat space and open it up and experience an entire infinite universe in a flat space, in an entirely flat space, and it's the size of a sheet of paper, and then some, and then some, and then some. How thin can you make a flat space in an infinite universe? And that flat space could be even invisible, and then it could be even more invisible than that, and more invisible than that, and more invisible than that. So how flat does it need to be flat enough? Or what if it actually is like this flat? It's got like some density. So if it has some density, it's not just like a straight line. Here's point A and here's point B, and we just draw a straight line. So now it actually has dimension, because it's now a two-dimensional space, all right? Two-dimensional space. So we have a one-dimensional space, it's a flat line, okay? We have a two-dimensional space, is now actually like a square or a rectangle or something of this kind. But it could still be a line that goes on forever and ever and ever in both directions. But now it has more visible density. And now what about the sphere? If you spin something really, 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 really fast, even if it's flat, if you spin it, you can actually start to see that there is dimension to it. And there's a reality that I really relate to, that the physical universe, the Earth in the physical universe is a round space, is round. The Earth is round. I feel that very strongly within myself, that in our physical universe, that is the truth. But if you want to go into dimensions, I mean, there's so many infinite dimensions. And they could be anything. They could be anything. And oftentimes I can go into a sphere, which could be a reflection of a single memory. But that single memory is a reflection of an infinite space. What's an infinite space? So there's something about this. And really, in the end, how is it solving anything? How is it solving literally anything? How is it helping anybody to actually find the love within themselves? Because there's something about heated debates that take us back to separation. I am right, you are wrong. And that separation creates turmoil and anger and frustration, and you're an idiot. No, I've got this figured out. Fuck you. And why don't we just start killing each other? Because I'm right and you're wrong. So there's something about on the other side of all of this where we just start to see that there's creation. And one thing I've learned about the human race is that we all want an answer. We all want a one and only answer. We want a one and only answer. And if you ever look at history, a one and only answer is, because we're always shifting and we're always changing, there's no such thing as a one and only answer. There never will be. That would be like you standing in place. And if you can just stand in place and time stop, then now there will be just one and only answer. But time doesn't stop, or experience never stops, or consciousness never stops, however you want to define it. It never stops. So, for instance, the Bible is a few thousand years old, and the Bible is the only answer to everything in the universe. The Bible is. Does that really make sense with humanity and the way our consciousness is evolving today? So what our needs are right now as a consciousness is expanding. And the more that we can get away from it has to be one and only way, now we are actually accessing infinite possibilities. And we can start working with what feels right within our heart and soul. And so for you, the flat earth feels right. So you got to work with what feels right. But appreciate, and what another soul's needs are that feel right to them. I'm a huge advocate for the strange and the random coming up to the surface, and I love really ridiculous ideas, so to speak, because flat earth theory, when that first came out, it was the most absurd idea anybody ever heard. And I made a couple of videos on it, and it always comes up the same. It always comes up for me as circulation, because even with time is a circular thing. It's not a flat thing. So it's always in circulation. And when we're going into the future, we're simultaneously moving into the past, simultaneously moving to the present, sort of thing. So we're always in a state of circulation. The earth is even turning, the universe is turning, and our consciousness is evolving, like revolving, So I always experience as a rounded thing, but that's me, all right? That's how my spirit guides, that's how my higher self, that's how it all speaks to me. That's how I experience it. That's how I translate it. That doesn't mean I haven't come into experiences of flat spaces that I actually open up and it becomes a dimension. So technically both are correct. I just come across more circulation more than I come across flat stuff. So you got to go with what works best for you, and then appreciate what works best for you. Ask for more influence, more inspiration, to discover more about the flat earth theory, and just continue to expand, and that's awesome. And then love the people that like the rounded stuff. That's awesome too. Love the people that are white, love the people that are black, love the oranges, love the apples, love everything, because everything is God, and you are everything. You are flat, you are round, you are everything. So if you pick sides, if you want to pick one side and that's the only side that is correct, remember that. Don't single yourself out, because when only one thing is the only one thing, it just kind of closes us up, right? So we want to always stay open to the infinite possibilities. But I do think flat earth is actually fun because it opens everybody up to infinite possibilities. So that was a pretty cool question, Paul, and I'm really proud of you for getting a video out there and actually talking about that. That's I'm a huge advocate for that. So go you, super go you. I hope this question is, again, it's just my perspective. This is just how I experience it. And that's just it. So okay, let me see here. All right, so the next one I got on the list here, Shirley, you wanted to know, you had 2 questions, and I've got literally a pinch of time. So it says, why is Osiris always depicted with green skin? And you know what, I don't know Osiris. I mentioned this to Joe too, and he said that Osiris is dead. So he's a reflection of dead. I'm guessing he's probably from Egypt. His name is familiar. I just never can place them. But he sounds like an Egypt guy. And Joe's impression was because he's dead, then he has a green color. But I personally haven't actually gone to him before. So I'd be curious to actually see if he would echo back to me as being green. I might see him as a different color. So sometimes people like to stick with, Archangel Michael is blue and only blue. It's like Raphael's green and only green. It's like, no, they resonate with those colors on like Joe sees Michael as gold. I see Michael as blue and silver. You see? So it's like that, but that's how I translate that. It's kind of like, that's what works for my vibration. That's how I translate it. That's how I experience it. But it's probably might be different for somebody else, just depending on your vibration and how your vibration is processing these other vibrations and how that translates into your humanness, right? So even with flat earths, round earths, it's again how your vibration is processing those vibrational ideas and what resonates with you. And then exploring it as like a cool soul development thing. So it's awesome. So that it not only is it a question, it gives me some ideas, and just to sort of throw it out there that Osiris might be depicted as green, but he might not be green to everybody. I might see him as pink, but I wouldn't know for sure unless I actually went and experienced his energy for myself. So now you've interested me in when the time is right to explore Osiris more. So the next question, and I may have to go, you were talking about synchronicities. Are synchronicities something we manifest to confirm to ourselves that we are creating our own reality, or are they more from an outside source? Because we really can go in any direction we choose. Are they there to confirm we are on the right or wrong path? So synchronicities, I actually had this come up quite a lot recently, and I feel like it's the vibe right now. Like for instance, when I did the channeling for the full moon, I couldn't believe that Egypt came up in that, and that really threw me for a loop. And now I've been thinking about Egypt so much, and you brought up this Osiris question too, and I actually had a request. I had a request come in literally like that same day, asking me, this was an email I received, asking me if I would explore the emerald tablets with Thoth. And I thought that was really wild timing, because I just did this thing with the full moon in Egypt, and now here I'm requested to do this emerald tablet thing with Thoth, and it's like on the right track. Joe actually did the emerald tablets that night. We were just kind of exploring it together, but he did a journey. It was really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to having my own experience with that. But what does that mean? Is there something within myself that's saying Egypt right now, and it's attracting other people to encourage Egypt in my world too? But Egypt is being encouraged in their world as well. So there's something about the vibes as a collective. We're sharing in that experience, and we're bouncing stuff off of each other. Then it seems to correlate, because we're all kind of in a collective moment, and the collective moment for versions of the collective are saying Egypt. Other versions of the collective are saying swans. Other versions of the collective are saying, flat earth, round earth. So other versions of the collective are saying. And so it's interesting, because sometimes we magnetically attract our own collective groups to encourage ideas, and we didn't even communicate those ideas with each other. Like this email came from somebody I didn't even share the video yet, and it was like, what? That is so random and cool. It's like right on the same page is what I'm feeling right now. And then what came through this full moon message. So I think that synchronicities are really it's part of the vibration, how we're translating that vibration into actual, apples, orange, like people, moments, time, events, movies, all this stuff. There's something about the vibration that is encouraging us to look at those parts of ourselves. Also at that time when I did that full moon and I was making the video about the limitless soul, I was on this like weird kick where like I was constantly attracting echoes of like evil movies with cursed people and awful like haunted experiences. It's like, what is the collective communicating right now? It's communicating I'm scared. It's communicating that I don't have the power. It's communicating this stuff. So there's something about that influence that I was noticing, repetitions, that it was continuing to speak to me, that it was time that I made this Limitless Soul video to remind people that are in that collective that might be feeling or attracting those types of communications to help them through what that might mean to them. So I'm creating a synchronicity for somebody else's life, you see, because we're all connected. And sometimes we have psychic moments and we didn't even have that communication with each other, yet we're all on the same page. It's really crazy, isn't it? So that's all I can say, and I really have to go. And Jamie, I realize that I'm not going to have time to answer your question just yet, but swear to God, I will be answering your question soon. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the questions, and I'm going to see what I can do to answer some more of these as I'm able. So I hope you're all doing well, and have an awesome day.